Oh yeah, it's time. It is that time. It's Wednesday morning. I'm Jason DeRusha. Good day. Welcome to the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. Nice to have you with us today. Are you waiting for the snow? You're like, hey, it's going to snow. It's something different to talk about, at least, you know. Like all we've been talking about is how cold it is. Boy, gosh, Vern, it's awful cold out there. Yep. Hey, you know, it's Minnesota. Gets cold in the winter. You bet it does. Man, been a long time since it's been this cold, though. That's for sure. So that's pretty much what we've been doing for the last 12 days. Today it's going to be 12 degrees. Oh, yeah. That's going to be sick. Yesterday we broke out of the sub-zero kind of consecutive, I think we had 95 hours of consecutive sub-zero temperature. I am going to show you some, oh, can we go back to the weather? I have a button to click. It's snowing in some parts of the area. If you're in the Worthington, Fairmont, Mankato area, it's been snowing for a bit this morning. And here in the Twin Cities, the snow's on the way. So Waconia, Burnsville, yep, you can see it's just starting to creep in right now. St. Michael, St. Cloud, you're probably getting a little snowfall right now at 7:35, and this will develop throughout the morning. So just wanted to show you the live look at the radar. Pretty light snow right now, but this may hang out for a bit, so we'll be watching this throughout the day. Look at the extra mile I went to for your 7:34. CBSN Minnesota. That's what we call this? Yes, CBSN Minnesota. I slipped up there and called it by the old name. My gosh, I'm probably going to be suspended for 10 minutes or something. Today, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is going to announce an easing of benchmarks for older students to go back to class next month. So the idea is to get the middle schoolers and the high schoolers out of this distance learning, out of the hybrid learning, into full-time in school. And I know some of you are thinking, what's changed? Like, why are we doing this? It seems like there's still plenty of virus around. Department of Education said only about 1 in 4 schools in Minnesota is really at full in-person. But all the research has shown that there is little spread inside a school environment, even for middle and high schoolers. They say that the negatives of distance learning far outweigh the risk of potential spread. Teachers, of course, concerned. And that's going to be the new metric the governor is going to use. Instead of community spread, he's going to use teacher spread. So we'll be curious to learn more about that, how they'll be tracking that. But the idea is if teachers are not getting COVID, it's safe for kids to go back. So here's our question for you today. Do you want your kids to go back to school? Do your kids want to go back to school? Put yourself in that situation. If you were a high schooler, would you know, maybe you enjoy distance learning. I kind of have one kid in either camp. One kid would like to go back to school. The other, I think, has really enjoyed distance learning. He misses the social aspect of school, but as far as the academic part, he's enjoyed it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll share some of those in just a moment. Family is back together. The best possible end to really a horrifying situation that we've been seeing a lot here in the Twin Cities. This in St. Paul. Car stolen, 2 kids in the back seat. Now you can ask questions about what was going on at 10:30 last night, where somebody had the car running, a minivan left running with 2 kids. It's 10:30, 600 block of Central Avenue. 2 young kids were sitting inside the car. And the youngest was just 1 or 2 years old. So the car's running, a man jumps in and takes off. He probably freaked out when he realized there were 2 kids in the car. And he ditched that van, left the kids unharmed. About 15 minutes later, police still looking for whoever stole this car. I don't know if we're quite to epidemic phase, but number of cars being stolen. Absolutely incredible. Minnesota lit up purple in support of Buffalo. 1 week after that deadly clinic shooting, the workplace shooting that took 1 life from her family, from all of us, injured 4 others. New video of the shooter just minutes before he walked into the clinic. Investigators say 67-year-old Gregory Ulrich is responsible for the shooting. He's charged with murder. Now, Ulrich was staying at a Super 8 motel in town. He had moved out of his mobile home where he lived before. So he's staying at the Super 8, which is just a mile away from the clinic, right down 55. Here's that new video. Shows Ulrich walking out of the Super 8. and taking a bus. Trailblazer Transit is the name of the public transit in Buffalo that does this sort of stuff. So they picked him up at the motel. You see him getting in, and they drop him off at the Alina Clinic. Investigators say that's when Ulrich walked inside. Moments later, opened fire. You do get a sense for the calmness of Ulrich as he got in that car, wearing a big coat, concealing a gun and some explosives. Ulrich scheduled to be back in court next month, that according to prosecutors. Civil unrest following the death of George Floyd cost the Twin Cities hundreds of millions of dollars. A number of businesses were left in ruin. We're starting to see the rebuilding. It's taken a bit, right? But you see the cranes out, the construction crews. City leaders say the money is starting to come in to help people rebuild, whether it's insurance, whether it's private money, whether it's help from the state. But they're asking for more, an additional $300 million boost from state lawmakers. Some immigrant and black-owned businesses testified in a committee hearing yesterday. This, one of them, a local business owner who says that he had about $500,000 worth of damage to his store, Phenom. He's got 2 stores, one in Minneapolis, one in St. Paul. And he says thieves weren't just stealing his inventory, his shoes, his clothes, but they were really stealing a piece of his American dream.
You know, there was a time when you know, I was like, you know, just take whatever we can get from their insurance company and just close down and, you know, just find a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, it's tough, right? He said insurance doesn't cover that $500,000 in, you know, stolen sneakers and all the damage, really. That's the tough part. He said he is going to reopen, though. He's planning on it in Minneapolis. He does have concerns about the looming trial of Derek Chauvin, the other police officers, that there might be vandalism once again. The $300 million plan, this has been so political, really a difficult time with DFL and Republicans trying to, well, frankly, I mean, they're not trying to come together on this stuff. The DFL pushing for more money. The Republicans saying, look, before we give any more money to Minneapolis and St. Paul, they have questions about what they are calling a failure of leadership during the unrest. A Minnesota couple stuck in Austin, Texas in the snow and cold this morning. Morgan Stalo and Tyler Battle from St. Louis Park. They're on a weekend trip I'd like to take to Austin. Super cool city. This isn't what they expected. And then this storm in Texas canceled their flight home on Sunday. But more than that, they quickly found out it shut down the city.
It doesn't really seem like they have salt or plows or any capabilities of dealing with it.
The snow, it's like nothing. Cars are stuck just right out our window, and it just looks like a normal day for us.
Right. Yeah, we can handle this, sort of. I mean, we have our own problems, right, when it snows here, but at least we can plow, and our energy infrastructure is a little more weatherproofed than what we're seeing in Texas. No restaurants open. Store shelves were empty. Food delivery services shut down, too. They did find this open IHOP. Waited in line for 2 hours to get food. They did get some of this stuff. Hey, when you got combos, everything's good. Everything's good. So they got some snacks and protein bars to help tide them over. Love this story from a Twin Cities retirement community with something new to try to keep its residents company during the pandemic. Robotic Pets. So I've seen stories about robotic pets, and you kind of think, well, this is weird. Like, get a real pet. This is perfect. It's perfect. 2 cats, 2 dogs at this senior center in Brooklyn Park. The activity director says everybody loves how lifelike they are. You know, you get kind of some tactile response. You get purrs and barks and little movements and reactions when you touch. One woman has had Sabrina the cat there for almost 2 months and told us the pet's proven to be an important companion.
I lost my husband in March and my cat in June, and so it's nice to have something in your apartment that you can interact with. And even though I know she's not real, of course, but I still talk to her and pet her. And
the pets were a gift from the city's Brooklyn Park. Brooklyn Park, pretty clever, right? They used some of the federal CARES Act money to buy them for several senior communities. Just run on batteries. You can find one online for as little as $100.
Shooter McGavin, this is for you. And I'm not lying to you, that is smashed. Smashed. And that went pretty well. You dead, shooter.
It's pretty good, right? Adam Sandler celebrating the 25th anniversary of Happy Gilmore by recreating that golf course smash there. He's still got it. Looks pretty good. And you heard him talking smack to Shooter McGavin. Well, you didn't think Shooter was just going to take that, did you?
Nice drive, Gilmore. 25 years, huh? Let's see if it's Shooter's tour. Check it out. Oh, yeah. It's all about the short game. Drive for show, putt for the dough. Money. Shooter. Still got it.
It does. Our producer, Mike Haberman, just said, I think we need a remake. We need a sequel. Happy Gilmore, the Senior Tour. What do you think? I don't know. These guys, I think it'd be pretty good, man. Very fun. I told Happy Gilmore to meet him on 9. Very good. Very good. Happy Gilmore, great movie. I kind of want to watch that again. It's been a long time. All right, let's talk about kids going back to school. Spin that CBSN Minnesota Morning Update music. Oh, yeah. Becca, frequent commenter. Becca, thanks for watching every day. We appreciate it. Becca's son has been back at in-person preschool for a while. Oh, man. My thoughts go out to all of you with preschoolers, kindergartners, up through about 4th grade. You have to actively manage that distance learning process. Those kids, glad that Becca's son is doing well back in school. Thank you. Brian or Mary Jo says, if I were a kid, I think I'd be okay with distance learning. Yeah, introverts are thriving, right? You're like, I don't have to deal with the distractions in class. Linda says they need to go back to school. So many kids are falling behind. Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, everyone's falling behind, right? So like, to me, it's not that big of a crisis. The big crisis is the fact that some people are doing okay with distance learning, and it's especially our low-income students who maybe parents are out essential workers, working a couple jobs, and they are relatively falling way behind. And that says I'd stay home. Seen on the news, kids getting sick with COVID. My kids would be staying home until they got a shot. I know some parents feel that way. The statistics on this are very clear, though. Very clear. The risk of having a kid in school is very, very small. Bradley says, I would totally want to go back. My nephews returned yesterday after being gone for a year and loved it. Cool, that's good, Bradley, thank you. Here's Angela. No, the new variants. Yeah, the variants are a concern, right? Spread more quickly, sometimes lead to more severe cases of COVID, and we don't really know how that's going to go with kids. But at a certain point, like, send them, and if it starts to happen, pull it back, right? We've proven we can pull it back. The question is, if you stay in this kind of super cautious mode, what's the cost of that for kids? You can have discussions about restaurants and the economy and that stuff. I don't know. To me, the evidence is pretty clear, and both political sides seem to agree on it, that we need to get our kids back to school. Hope it goes well for you. Hope you have a good day. Stay safe with the snow coming down, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow for another edition of the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update.